Let's hook up little puffs like this. First check a principal and hook up with girl, and then you just put the two of them together. Let's do it with the yellow line. You ignore the color of the line. Start by winding the thread around the little thumb. Bring to the index finger, and then you wrap it around your middle finger. Hold the thread with your thumb. Double crochet the thicker end of the hook. Crochet through the loop. Let's start with a standing pin. Turn the wire around, and then wind the wire and hook the coil. This is a standing pin. Then 5 short pins need to be hooked. Crochet through the loop. Hook the line here. Pull the thread through the 2 coils on the crochet hook. So that's a short needle. We hang the marking buckle on the first stitch. Continue to hook the second
Crochet
needle
through
the loop. Hook line. Wind the wire and hook it through both coils. The third needle passes through the lifting loop. Hook the thread over. Wind the wire and hook both coils together. 4th needle. 5 needles. After the 5 stitches are hooked, we remove the coil. Tighten this thread. Tighten the coil. The next step is to connect the needle with the first stitch. Hook drop in. Let it form a circle. Crochet through the eye of the first stitch. Hook the thread over. I'm going to go through the loop on the crochet hook. This is a drawing needle. Then we go around 2. Hook 3 braid pins first. And then we need 2 equal of them in each of these pins. An unfinished needle for a long needle. First winding. That is, in every needle. Hook a popcorn needle. First wind the thread through the needle. Hook the thread over. Let's stretch this line out the same length as the first 3 braid pins. Winding. Hook it over and pull it over like that. Continue to wind the thread through the thread of the first stitch. Hook the thread over. Stretch the coil a little bit. It's going to be flat. And then wrap it around. Only the first 2 coils are hooked. Just hook the first 2 coils on the crochet hook. Keep winding the wire. Through the needle eye, hook the thread over. Elongate the coil. Coil the wire over the front 2 coils. Now is 3 long needles of unfinished needles. The thread is wound and threaded through the needle. The thread of the first needle. Hook the thread over. Elongate the coil. Turn the wire around. 4. Wind the thread through the needle. Hook the thread over. Stretch the coil. Winding. Hook the first 2 coils. This is an incomplete needle with long needles. Let's keep winding. Take all the coils of the crochet stitch together. Bring it around like that. Then cast each wound. Hook a coil. Lock a stitch like this, and then 3 more braid pins. Hook a drawing needle into the next needle. Through the needle eye. Hook the thread over, and then I put this coil on the crochet hook. This is a drawing needle. Next, hook some braid pins. Continue to hook long unfinished stitches in the same stitch. Wind the thread through the needle. Draw the eye over to lengthen the coil. Winding. Hook a coil. Hook the front 2 coils. Winding. The thread hook. Stretch the coil. Coil the wire over the first 2 coils. Winding. Through the needle eye. Hook the thread over. Stretch the coil. Hook the first 2 coils. Winding. Through the needle eye. Hook the thread over. Winding. Cross the first 2 stitches. In this way, 4 long needles failed to finish the needle winding. Through the needle eye, hook the thread over. Stretch the coil. The thread hooks over the first 2 pins. Rewind thread E and hook all stitches. Lock stitch again. Hook 3 more braid pins. 3 lock pin. Then hook a drawing needle into the next needle. Thread it through the eye of the needle. And then you go through the loop on the crochet hook. Continue to hook some braid pins. The next step is to hook the same needle inside the head. 5 long needles of unfinished needles. Thread the thread through the needle. Take 2 come over. Stretch the coil. Wind the wire over all the coils. This crochet head is going to be pressed down. Pull the needle in the next needle. Hook some braid pins. The winding thread continues to hook the unfinished stitches of long stitches. Wrap wire E again and bring over all the wires. Pull the needle in the next needle. Keep ticking 3. A braid pin is a lock pin. Hook 5 more long unfinished stitches. Stretch the coil for winding. Wind the wire E and hook all coils. Hook a drawn needle here in the first stitch. Widening the coil. Bolt. Pull out the thread. Then hook the thread to the back with a crochet hook. You can hook it with a crochet hook. So the line is on the back, and then let's rearrange it. Take all the petals. Let him drum forward. The body of such a small puff is hooked. And then we're gonna hook up with girl. Hook a flower heart with pink thread. Winding. Make a looper on your middle finger. Crochet. Through the loop of the needle, hook some braid pins. A 2, 3 hooks and 3 braid pins serve as the ending pins. Crochet winding. Through the loop of the needle, hook the line over and then lengthen the coil. Hook A. Continue to winding. Pull through the loop of the needle. Widening the coil, coil the wire over the front 2 coils. Continue winding the wire to hook the thread through the loop of the needle. Stretch the coil for winding. Hook the front 2 coils. 3 long and finished needles. Hook 2 more windings. Thread through the 15 loop. The winding here is the unfinished needle of long needles. Along with the winding, all the coils. Pinch this part. It's easier to hook it up. Hook a lock pin. Hook a braid pin. Lock it up. Hook 3 more braid pins. And then I'm going to tighten this coil at the bottom. It's in this coil underneath this hook dropping. Widening the coil. Bolt. Pull out the thread. Pull the end of the line tight here. Adjust it so he flips to the front. There are only 2 tails. I'm going to hook the end of either of these lengths to this end. You can do it with a crochet or you can do it with a stitch. Crochet through either of these stitches. Hook the thread over. Then the 2 threads are tied in a tight knot. So it's a little bit more rounded. You can pinch it to make it a little bit rounder. Then use a crochet hook through the center of the flower body. Place the ends of the 2 threads on top of the crochet hook. Bring it around like that. And then a little puff is hooked. Let's combine the little flowers. So let's start with the flower stick. Cut like the flower in half after folding it in half. You can cut it with scissors or pliers. And then I'm gonna stick this. Give it a bend about a centimeter. It bends like this. Take out the heart of the flower. This curved part here will hang on. I tied it in a tight knot here. In the past. And then he squished it. And then the ends are flat like this. And then I'm gonna take this from the inside of the body of the flower goes through. Hook the end of the center of the flower over with a crochet. You can use a suture needle. And there he goes. Then we begin to tangle the leaves. You can use this before you wrap the leaves. Cut the end of the line short. It should be about 4 or 5 centimeters long. Then take the wool of the same color as the leaf. Leave about 4 or 5 centimeters of line in this way. And pinch it with the end of the line. And then you start winding. It's starting to get close to the tail. Wrap it around 2 more times. Wrap until you can't see the other colors. And then it starts to wrap all the way on. Look at it when you're wrapping it. Don't let the inside color out. Make sure you wrap it evenly. This is where you add the leaves. Let's start with the leaf. The front side of this leaf turns it toward the flower stalk. Or on a circle, then add another leaf. Put the 2 leaves opposite each other. Put it in and pinch it tight. Make sure the first 2 loops are tight. If you wrap it about 10 centimeters down, you can leave it. Leave about 10 centimeters of thread. Then cut. With this line, put your middle finger against the line. And then go all the way around the pole. It's coming through here in the middle eye. Play it again. Through the middle finger. Tighten. So it's a little bit more stable. Then you can adjust the leaves and the rows. So this little flower is put together. Then combine it with the pot. The stem of the flower through the middle of this soil. The tails of these lines over here. Use a crochet or stitch. Put it through the center of this soil. I'll just hook it with a crochet hook. Put the end of the thread all over the crochet hook. Put it on the crochet hook like this, but just a little bit tighter. Pull him out like this. Maybe 2 or 3. 2 or 3 of these hooks will make it easier. There's one more to take. Grab the green thread and pull the soil up hard. Pull it to this part of the leaf. And then adjust it. Use the end of the line. I'm going to wrap this around at the end of one line. Wrap this leaf around. Wrap the thread on the top of the soil. all around the. If it's longer, you can wrap it around and then pick the end of any piece
Tie a
of
tight
string.
knot.
And that will fix the soil in place. And then bend the extra rods underneath it. It is best to bend into a circle. You can put it in the pot later. It bends into the shape of a circle like this. And then we put this in the pot. Put all the ends into the pot for him. Then we need to fill it with padding cotton. You don't have to fill it
try to
into
fill
much
it
with padding for 4x. Make sure it's in the middle. That's about it. Just level with this pot. Then stick the soil into the pot. You can just do that. And then we use this line that's the same color as the soil. Use a suture needle to sew the soil and pot to it. The thread is long at one end and short at the other. So let's adjust this. We started this for our pot. When he has a row of standing pins, that's pretty obvious. Adjust it as far as you can to the back of the flower. Turn A. Adjust the back of the arc. Start the suture next to the hook. Count from the top down. The position of the second row of the flower pot pin. Start counting. Put the needle in, and then it goes to the edge of the soil, inside any needle order. Leave a little bit at the end of the line. Insert it again with the next stitch. Go to the second row of pins in this pot. Keep going up. Suture that. Sew it one shot at a time. Just sew it up. Sew all the way around in this way. I want you to wrap this thread around. Pull it into the pot. You can just pull it out of any one of them. And then go in where you left it. And then pop it out in any other position. Change the direction of the needle again. Go back and forth in the pot a few times. Just cut the thread. Do the same with the other thread. Put on the suture needle. From the position of the outgoing needle, if it goes in, it comes out anywhere. To wear A. Go to any one of them. Cut teardrops. This goes in. Pinch it and adjust it. Push the bottom of the pot in a little. The center of gravity of the pot will be more stable. So you have a little pot plant.